Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tasse bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhasse. Namo tasse bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhasse. Namo tasse bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhasse. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear friends, in Buddhism, Buddha teaches us about good and bad karma. Karma make a huge impact on our lives. So what is a bad karma and what is a good karma? So there is a verse. So there is a short verse about that. Buddha says, if someone speak or act with an unpleasant mind, then suffering follows that person. So in the other suttas, Buddha says, if someone do a bad karma, then as a result of that bad karma, they have to suffer. It gives them bad results. So in that verse, Buddha says, so if someone speak or act with an unpleasant mind, then suffering follows that person. It means that action become a bad karma. That's why suffering follows that person. So unpleasant mind means when someone's mind is overcome by a defilement, like either anger or greed or jealousy or rivalry or any other negative thought or defilement, at that moment, that person's mind is not pleasant. It is unpleasant. So we can think about a moment that we got angry. So at that moment, was our mind pleasant? Not at all. Unpleasant. And because of that, even our face was unpleasant. So whenever our mind is overcome by a negative thought, at that moment our mind is unpleasant and impure. So then if our actions are led by such a mind at that moment, then those actions become bad karma. Then bad karma gives us bad results. It brings us suffering. When actually it brings us suffering immediately. Why? Whenever our mind is overcome by unpleasant thoughts or some negative thoughts or defilement, at that moment, there is no any peace or happiness. At that moment, there is a mental pain. So at that moment, right away, we experience the bad results of bad karma. But it doesn't end there. It will give some bad results in the future as well. But good karma brings us happiness. So Buddha says, if someone speak or act with a pleasant mind, then happiness follows that person. So when someone's mind is not overcome by a defilement, negative thought, at that moment, that person's mind is not unpleasant. So at that moment, it is pure and pleasant. And also when someone's heart is full with love and compassion, gratitude, and some other wholesome thoughts, at that moment, their mind is pleasant. And if they speak or act with such a mind, then that action become a good karma. Then good karma brings us good results. It brings us happiness. So that's why Buddha says, if you want to be happy, you should avoid doing bad karma. You should do good karma. In one of the suttas, Buddha encouraged us to reflect on that often. So one day, one college student, I think 2 weeks ago, I did a meditation program for a small group in Rutgers University in New Jersey. And one guy asked me, "Oh, Bhante, should we always think about the good and bad karma?" So actually, why he asked that question? Because sometimes people put everything, when bad things happen to their lives, they always put things into the basket of bad karma. Okay? But it's not like that. Okay, it's a different topic. Okay, and also sometimes people get lazy to arouse their energy. Why sometimes some people think, okay, it doesn't matter if I put effort or not. Everything is determined by the karma. Okay? No, it's not correct. It's totally wrong. Okay? Buddha says everything doesn't happen due to karma. Okay? There are so many other reasons for that. But however, karma plays a huge role in our lives. So then what should we do to doing bad karma? Always we should try to get rid of negative thoughts in our mind. And always we should try to cultivate wholesome thoughts in our mind. When always our mind is pure, pleasant, then always our actions are driven by such a mind, pleasant mind. And also then always our actions become good karma. So that's why Buddha says mind is chief. Mind precedes everything. So the first thing we need to pay attention is our mind. We need to pay attention to our mind. Okay? We should be mindful of our mind. So that's why Buddha says, try to be mindful always on your mind. Okay? We need to be aware of what's going on in our mind. Okay? Is it easy? No. It's one of the most difficult things in this world. Why? Mind changes always. Okay? Sometimes anger, sometimes laziness, then again anger, then some other negative emotions, and also some positive emotions, okay? Some wholesome thoughts. Then again it changes. Okay? Sometimes it is very peaceful. Our mind is very peaceful. We think, oh, this is amazing. But next moment, it changes. So that's why it's not easy to be mindful of our mind always. But we should put effort to be mindful of our mind always. And then we should cultivate wholesome thoughts in our mind, wholesome things. So one of the great good karma that we can practice, that we can cultivate within us is generosity. Generosity. So once Buddha said, if someone knows about the benefits of practicing generosity as Buddha does, then they are willing to share the even last bite of their meal with someone else. So suppose there is someone, he has a great understanding about the generosity, and they have a great understanding of the benefits of the generosity. And then Buddha says, they like to share even the last bite of their meal with someone else. But like sometimes some people, they try to put it in their mouth before someone shows up, because sometimes they hesitate that they will have to share it with someone. Okay? But Buddha says, if someone knows about those benefits of the good karma, then they'd like to share everything that they have with other people. Why? It's a great investment. It's a great investment. It will pay off in the future. So there are so many suttas that Buddha explains about the benefits that we can get by practicing generosity. There is one sutta. In that sutta, Buddha teaches us about 5 ways of practicing giving. 5 ways of practicing giving. The first one, practice giving with confidence. With confidence. Confidence means like we need to have confidence about the benefits that we get by practicing generosity. So I think all of you know that there is a kind of saying, what goes around comes around. So if someone has a good understanding about that, they know, okay, what I give will come to me. Then they have the confidence of generosity, or the good karma. Then Buddha said, if someone practice giving generosity with confidence and also with a pleasant mind, because when someone has a confidence about the giving, then they practice it with a pleasant mind. It is not difficult for them. If someone asks for something, very easily, very happily, they can give it to that person. And then it is not a burden for them. They don't get stressed out because of the generosity. They do. Why? Because they have a great confidence about that. Okay. Suppose it is something like this. Suppose someone talked to you, then they say, okay, if you invest on this company, or if you invest on this share market, then you will get huge benefits. Okay, you will gain huge profit. Okay? Then if you have a confidence about that, okay, then with a very happy mind, very pleasant mind, you do that investment. There is no any hesitation for that. Okay? And likewise, if someone has a good confidence about the good karma, then if someone has a good confidence about the good karma that they can generate from giving, they practice with a happy mind, without any hesitation, with a very pleasant mind. Because of that, Buddha says, they will get a beautiful body. their outward appearance is beautiful. They become gorgeous. So if you want to become a gorgeous person, stop wasting on cosmetics or other things. Okay? You practice generosity with confidence, okay? With a pleasant mind, then you will become a very attractive person. Okay? So that is the first way of practice giving. The second one, Buddha says, practice giving uh, very carefully, very carefully. It means when you give something to other people, you should give it with respect, and you should do it very carefully. Okay? It means like, normally you do that. Okay, you do that. So when you give a gift to someone, okay, maybe you must have practiced it on Thanksgiving Day. Okay, so when you give a gift to other people, you wrap it, and then you with love, with compassion, very carefully you give those gifts to the other people. So actually it generates a very powerful good karma. Okay? So you can be happy about. So if you gave some gifts to your friends or your loved ones on the Thanksgiving Day, you have generated this good karma. Okay? So Buddha says, if you practice giving in that way, then as a result of that, everyone will listen to you. Everyone will listen to you, and they will take your instructions, and then they will behave in a way that please yourself. So that is the second way of practicing generosity. So if you have kids that don't listen to you, then what you should do? Start practicing generosity very carefully, out of compassion, with love, with respect. Okay? Then it will generate a good karma. Then others will listen to you, and they will be obedient to you, and they will behave in a way that you will become happy. So it is something that you get by practicing giving carefully. The third way, Buddha says, practicing giving without being attached to what you give. Without being attached to what you give. What does that mean? Sometimes, okay, suppose you give a gift to someone, okay, and you have expectation, okay, they will use this gift. They will not give it to someone else. They will use it by themselves. And you have that expectation. Then you give that gift to that person. But then after some time, you see they have thrown it away, or they have given it to someone else. Then what happened? Then you might get irritated with that. Okay. Oh, I gave it to my friend, but he or she didn't use that. Okay. So it's not good. Okay. Then you get a little bit angry with them. So it means like, yes, you have practiced giving, but there must have been some attachment to what you gave. So Buddha says, when you give something, give it without any attachment, with your whole heart. Then you don't care what they do with your gift. You don't care because you have given that. It's over. You have the good karma. Buddha says, if someone gives to others with attachment, there is a problem. Yeah, they will get the good results because of that good karma, but they will not, they will hesitate to consume the result. They will hesitate to use what they get from that good karma. So, okay, it's something like this. Suppose like you give some money to someone. Okay, let's say you give $10 to a homeless person. Yes, it's a good karma. Okay, it's a good karma. But suppose you have some attachment to that. You have some attachment to that. Then in future, as a result of that good karma, yes, you might get $100, but you will not use it. Why? You had an attachment to what you gave. Now, even though you have money, you hesitate to use it. You don't use it even for your benefit. And also you don't give it to others. So in this world, there are people like that. There are people like they can afford to nice clothes. They can afford to good food. They can afford to new a car. But they are stingy. They don't want to spend their money. Okay. So, because Buddha says, if you can afford, yes, you can afford. Okay. Because you can enjoy what you have. But there are some people, they don't use what they have. Okay. So why? Because yes, in the past, they have practiced giving, they have practiced generosity, but when they were doing that, they have had some attachment to that. But if someone practices giving without attachment, then when they get the results of their good karma, they can enjoy it without any hesitation. They can, if they have money, they don't hesitate to spend their money for their benefit. If they have clothes, new clothes, they don't hesitate to wear those clothes. And if they can afford to go to a fancy restaurant, yes, they go there and they enjoy those food. Because they have money and also they have a mind to enjoy it. Because suppose you have everything in this world, okay? Everything. But if you don't feel use those things, what's the point of having all of those things? Suppose you have a good vehicle, the most expensive vehicle, most comfortable vehicle in this world, but you don't feel right with your vehicle. So then there's no point of having that. Okay? So, but it will not happen if you practice giving without attachment. So that is the third way of practicing giving. The fourth way, practice generosity at the right time. At the right time. What is the right time? When there is a natural disaster, that is a moment to practice. That is a right moment to practice giving. Okay? I think you know, like in Sri Lanka, we have a natural disaster. There was a devastated cyclone, okay? And more than 100,000 people lost their homes, and more than 400 people lost their lives. So there's a disaster, and this is a right moment to practice giving. So that's why we started some fundraising, and that's why we try to help people in Sri Lanka, because this is the right moment to practice giving. And also giving something to your visitors, right? That is the right time to practice giving. So someone visits you and you can give some drinks, you can give some water. It's a good karma, and at that moment you practice giving at the right time. And also when someone travel, if you give something, that is the right time to practice giving. So, so this morning, my other Bhante, he went to Sri Lanka, and one layperson offered food to him this morning. And then I reminded him this teaching. He said, I told him, today you are practicing giving at the right time, because that Bhante is leaving US. So after having that breakfast, so he practiced giving at the right time. And another right time is give something to someone when they are sick. So I think you always do that, like you visit your friends, your loved ones when they are sick. So when you give something to them at that moment, so you're practicing giving at the right time. And also when Buddha says, like, when you have the first harvest, then if you make some food from your harvest and if you offer it to some virtuous people, so then at that moment you are practicing giving at the right time. And also suppose like you go to a new job, okay, and you get your first salary. Okay? If you give some money from your first salary to virtuous people, virtuous mean it could be a lay person or it could be a monastic, someone who is virtuous, then or some priest, okay, then if you give something to them, then you collect good karma. And so at that moment, you practice giving at the right time. Then what you get by practicing giving at the right time? When it starts to give results, you will get what you want at the right time. So if you want to get what you want at the right time, when you need it most, then you need to practice generosity at the right time. The fifth one, practicing giving without stressing out other people. It means like one thing is like, sometimes people earn money in a wrongful ways. So then they use their money to give other people. Okay? Because there are some people, they do some wrongful things and then they earn money. Then also, yeah, they practice giving. Okay, sometimes they give some money to poor people. Yeah. Still, it's good. Like the giving is good, but there is a problem. Why? Because they earn those money through wrongful ways. So because so, it means that they have they give some burden to other people, and they have stressed out other people. Okay? They have given some pain to other people. So because of that, Buddha says, when they get the results of that good karma, because of that, when they get the results of that giving, though what they get will be destroyed because of so many reasons. Sometimes because of fire, sometimes because of flood or earthquakes, or because of so many other reasons, or maybe government will get those things. Okay? Or some other people steal what they have. It means the things that they have will be destroyed. So, but if someone practice giving without stressing out other people, then what they get will not be destroyed. what they get will not be destroyed in that way. Okay. And also, sometimes when actually I don't think like it happens in here in the US, but among our Sri Lankan people, it happens like sometimes they want to practice giving, and then sometimes they try to go over their limits. Okay? And then they stress out themselves, and also sometimes then they try to get the support from other people, and they stress out other people as well. Okay? So it is not good. It's not good. So that's why we need, when we practice giving, we should learn, we should know our limits. Okay. So if you can only give $5 to a homeless person, then you should not give $100. Why? Because after you give that, you will regret about that, and you will at that moment you're stressing out yourself. So that's why you should know your limit. And when you practice giving, you should not stress out either yourself or other people. By doing that, then Buddha says, like, the things that you get will not be destroyed. It will be well protected. So those are the 5 ways to practice giving. So practicing giving with confidence, and practicing giving carefully, and practice generosity without being attached to what you give, and practice generosity at the right time, and practice generosity without stressing out other people. So those are the 5 ways of practicing giving. Okay, so today I talk about some of the things of generosity in Buddhism. So you can learn those things, and also you can start practicing generosity in those 5 ways. So may you be able to practice generosity always, and may you will get the good results of your generosity, and may you be able to have a peaceful mind, and may you attain bliss of happiness. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, now I'm going to chant verses of blessings. Close your eyes and listen to me. Abhivadana silissa niccang vaddapachayino chattaro dhamma vaddanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminate samijjatu. May you have a long life and be free from illness. May you attain bliss of happiness. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, thank you so much for joining today. May you be well and happy. Namo Buddhaya.